Today is July 7th, 2006. I'm Jessica Clark. It is a pleasure to conduct this interview for the Dakota Memories Oral History Project in Rugby, North Dakota. To start with, can you please state your full name?
Nicholas F. Axtman.
And do you go by Nicholas or do you go by Nick?
Go by Nick.
Okay. Where were you born, Nick?
Out in that house, Tuscarora Township, out in the house where I grew up.
Okay. And how far from Rugby is that?
From here it's 15 miles.
Okay. And you said it was near Balta?
Yeah.
Okay. And when were you born?
1919.
Okay.
May 17th.
May 17th?
Norwegian Day.
Have you ever heard a story about your birth? Do you know if a midwife was present or a doctor or...
Yeah, midwife was present. There were 6 of us born in that, 7 of us born in that house in the farm. 7 of us kids. 1 was born in Rugby. There was a midwife.
How many brothers and sisters then do you have?
Well, I lost one brother, the oldest one. He died in a crib death. And then I only one other brother.
Okay.
And sisters, I got 5.
Okay, so there's 8 in the family then?
7 living, 8.
Okay.
Well, the 7 don't live anymore either.
Okay, but 8 or 7 that had childhood?
Yeah.
Okay. When you think back to your childhood, what are some of your earliest childhood memories? Some of the first things you remember from your childhood?
Going to school, couldn't talk anything but German, and the teacher made us stay in for recess if we talked German.
Was it hard to pick up English at that time?
We didn't know anything else but German. That's all we knew. It's just like, okay, tomorrow you got to learn Spanish. You don't do it that easy.
So would you, since you only spoke German at that time, would you have to stay in a lot of recess hours?
Oh, me, I was a good guy. Every once in a while, yeah.
So did you attend like a one-room schoolhouse?
One-room schoolhouse.
Okay. How did the school day go? I mean, with all those kids in one room and one teacher.
Hey, we had 2 kids. One couldn't read with a darn. The other one could read or write. We had 26 kids in our school.
Oh my goodness.
1 teacher.
How many kids were in your grade?
Oh, when I graduated, there was only 4 of us.
Did you enjoy school or?
Oh, I did, yeah. I thought it was better than working at home.
What time of the year did school usually start back then? Did it start in September or?
Yeah, in September.
And was it an 8-month term or?
7.
7 months? Okay. Did you have the same teacher for all 8 years?
Oh no. They're different teachers.
Okay, so was that common back then, you think, that teachers wouldn't stay around in one school? Or?
Well, most of the farm schools, teachers didn't get the wages they got in the bigger place. So if they were a good teacher, they were hired, they hired where they got more money.
Mm-hmm. What subjects did they teach in school back then?
The basic, reading, writing, arithmetic.
What noon hour and recess hours? What types of things would you do during those breaks?
Well, there was no toys in the playgrounds. We had a barn. We threw a ball. We call it NDI over. That was one of our plays. And then we played nip. You ever heard of that?
No.
It's a little stick this long and a little stick this long. When you dig a little hole and you kick it out to catch it. If nobody catches it, you get so many points.
Never heard of that one. It's called nip, like N-I-P?
Well, we call it nip. Yeah.
Okay. Any other type of activities you would do?
Fox and the goose.
Fox and goose. Okay.
Well, we improvised. We always had something to do. And if we didn't have nothing else to do, we got in mischief.
What type of mischief did you get into?
Oh, we get in lots of mischief.
At school even?
Yeah, in recess and stuff like that, not in the schoolhouse.
Okay.
When a teacher went out, we used to make spitballs and knock them on the ceiling. There was a clock in front. We'd see if we could hit the dial on that one when the teacher wasn't in there.
Did the teacher ever catch you?
Well, I'm sure she did. Nobody knew who did it though.
So what was discipline like when you were going to school back then? If you got caught doing something mischievous, how would the teacher discipline you?
Well, I tell you one thing. The teachers were tough. But you know what was tougher? If somebody got home and I got 4 smaller sisters and they tattled on you, that was tougher. The teacher was always right when I was going to school. Let's put it that way. That's not like now. Everybody's right except the teacher.
Mm-hmm. So did all of your brothers and sisters attend school with you?
Yeah, I say, yeah.
Okay.
All went to school out in that country school.
How far was the country school from your farm?
2.25 miles.
And then how did you get to school?
In the summertime, we walked. In the winter, the neighbor had a bus that they'd pick us up. We drive on a bus with team horses.
Okay. Was it a bus like what we think of as a school bus?
Oh, no. That was a sled underneath
Okay.
and a team of horses on had a little stove in there, maybe this high. Just like a little camper stove, you know. And I was comfortable in there.
What type of clothing would you wear during the winter time to keep warm on your ride to school? Would you have like winter coats?
Oh yeah, we had little, what do you call it, mackinac or something like little shirt, just like a heavy coat, you know, only they weren't long.
Okay.
They were, you know, maybe.
What about lunches? Since you live so far from school, you obviously didn't go home for lunch.
No.
How did you carry your lunch to school and what?
Oh, we took lunch pails along.
Lunch pails, okay. Is it like what we would think of a lunch pail, or
No.
What would
It was a empty syrup pail.
a syrup pail?
That was the lunch bucket for each one of us, you know. Now, each one had their own one, you know.
So a syrup pail, that's something that you actually...
About maybe this high. How big were? A little better than a quart, I think, maybe half a gallon.
Okay. And what type of things would your mom pack your lunch?
Yeah.
What type of things would she pack for lunch?
There's usually bread, jelly, and peanut butter.
Okay. So was school important to your parents? Did they want you to get an education?
Well, yeah, some of us. There's 3 of us never had more than 8th grade.
Okay.
My oldest sister, she and my sister younger than I, and myself. My folks made up their mind I was going to be the farmer. So I didn't need no education.
So after the 8th grade, you stayed on the
Oh,
farm and worked the farm. Your other siblings, did they go on to high school?
4 of them. My older brother went to school. He went to seminary.
Oh, okay.
Of course, in the 30s, everything was safe, so we had enough money to send him to seminary. I was home cleaning the barn.
That's a fun job.
Had about 14 or 15 horses, you know, and you had to harness them, curry them every morning when your springs work and harvest and stuff. Well, harvest in the summertime, my brother was home.
So when you were going to school, did your dad ever hold you out to help with the farm work?
Oh, yeah. My sister and I, we were out maybe 2 weeks, sometimes a month in the fall, plowing with the horses.
So was it hard for you to catch up when you would go back to school?
I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I did pass in the end.
You passed each grade. Since you were talking about farm life, what type of chores did you have to do when you were a boy?
Feed cattle, feed horses. Horses were the main thing as far as my father went, you know. The milk cows were secondary. The horse was that had to be taken care of. Because if you didn't take care of the horse, you couldn't put your crop out or take it off.
So how long could you work a team of horses before they would need a break? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a tractor where you could be out there all day.
from 7 till 12, and then from 2 till 7.
Okay. Would you use the same horses in the morning that you
Oh
did?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. You said you had about 15 to 16 horses?
Horse,
or
yeah,
so?
right, right.
Okay. How many head of cattle did you have?
We didn't, at that time in the 30s, we didn't have to maybe 30 or maybe something like that.
And what type of crops did your father have?
Usually wheat and barley and oats, flax, once in a while.
Do you know how much the crops were selling for back then when you were growing up?
In the 30s,
Mm-hmm.
at one time a bushel of wheat was worth 25 cents.
And what's the bushel of wheat today?
Well, right now it's $4.50, I think. They went up, but I mean it's less.
So how was your dad's fields during the dirty 30s?
They were tough. See, they didn't use fertilizer. What was bad is because we plowed everything in the fall. That's the only way to get the crop out. Then, of course, it was bare, black soil. And of course it dried out. And you didn't have the machinery they have now to put it out. We had a 10-foot drill. My dad used to drill, and I had 8 horses on an 8-foot disc. I'd go ahead with the horses, with the disc, and my dad followed up with the drill in the spring. No summer follow.
Was your dad able to take in enough make enough money to support the family, or was it hard to keep food on the table?
Well, it was tough. It was tough, but he never asked for help. I know we in one year the 30s pigs were, I think, 3 cents a pound. 3 cents a pound. So my dad would peddle sausage here in Rigby to all the businessmen, and have to grind it up. Of course, that power was. This is what the power for the meat grinder. There was no electricity, no phone, and I'd have to take it to the businessmen here in town. They all bought sausage from my dad. He said he had such good sausage, and they never wanted garlic. And you know what? Every week from in, they always had garlic. They keep telling my dad how good the sausage was because there was no garlic in there.
Did you help make the sausage?
Oh yeah, I was the power behind the meat grinder.
Oh, okay. And so then your dad, what would your dad do?
Well, they'd mix it, clean the casing. You didn't buy the casing, you clean them, clean them.
Pig casing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Nobody bought casings though. They did. Well, they had no money for stuff like that.
Used what you had.
Yeah.
What about butchering? Can you tell me what the process for butchering it was back then? How would you butcher a pig?
First you have to skull it, put it in a barrel, and it gets hot, then you get the hair off them. It wasn't skinned or anything like that. And then, of course, so after it was all cleaned up, you hang them up in the barn, and you got them and cool them off. And
what parts of the pig would you use for making sausage and meats and things?
oh, most of the scrap, anything.
Okay.
The heads went for head cheese.
Head cheese.
Head cheese.
What's head cheese?
They take the stomach and clean it out good, and they take the meat from the head and the meat around the neck and skin, the skin from the pig.
Okay.
And they grind it up, put it in the stomach, boil it. I don't know how long it took, but then boil it in a wash tub or a can or whatever it was for, and then cool it off. And then they cut it in slices.
Was it tasty?
Oh, it was good.
Never heard of it.
Everything. We even like the feet. We used to feet, clean them up and made what do you call it? Goledettes. I don't know what do you call that in English.
Pig
Some pretty well, yeah, but it's a chill, you know.
Okay. And you would eat those too? So you didn't waste any part of the fish?
The snoot we didn't eat.
Okay.
The tongue we ate.
Really? You ate the
Yeah,
tongue?
absolutely.
What would you do with the tongue?
That was usually put in sausage or head cheese, either one.
Okay. So you had cattle, horses, pigs. What other animals were on the farm?
Chickens.
Chickens, of course, chickens. Everybody had chickens.
So would your mom use take the eggs into town or milk it in town to sell?
You know, we used all the eggs we needed in the farm. What we didn't need, they hauled them to town.
Okay.
We did too, and we were married the first year.
Really?
The cream and the eggs went to town for grocery. We had no money.
So would you just take it to the grocery store and they'd give you...
At that time, the grocery bought eggs, yeah,
Okay.
and cream.
Okay. So, the cattle, were they dairy cattle or were they...
We had mostly dairy cattle, yeah.
Okay. So did you have to milk them every day?
Well, so many, yeah.
Okay. Okay. What were the summer months like during the dirty 30s? The weather.
Hot, dry, grasshoppers. I don't know what year in the 30s they mixed some kind of a brand and stuff like that, and they put hopper poison on it or strychnine. Then we'd drive out, and two of us guys were in the back and throw the stuff out, you know. And one would, of course, one had to drive the team. Spread it there. The spreader was their end. Later on, my dad made a spreader out of a rear end of a Model A.
Really?
Yeah, with a barrel on there with something that, you know, rotor that turns around and spreads it.
Never heard
There's a lot of tough years with grasshoppers in the 30s.
Did they do a lot of damage to the crops?
Oh, yes.
I've read some accounts where they were like as thick as a snowstorm. Did they that it was just overpowering?
I know what year in the 30s, I don't remember anymore, but one year, the southwest wind, you know, they come from the south, and it was actually, you could just see the clouds of hoppers, you know, flying. And they'd start, you know, when the green was all going, say, in South Dakota. Of course, they'd come to North Dakota or Nebraska and South Dakota, and that's the wind until they come up. And I suppose I'm sure they went from here to Canada, if they were, you know.
So were they loud? I mean, because they make sounds and stuff. Was it like an overpowering sound?
No.
No. It was just a field of grass.
Yeah, right.
Huh. Amazing. What about sandstorms? Did you ever experience a sandstorm?
Oh, yes.
What were they like?
I was out dragging, maybe 33, but 2 miles from home. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I had to unhook the horses and come home. I had to drive out to south so I could see to come home. When you got home, they had the lights on in the farm at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's how bad the sandstorm was.
How was your mother able to keep the house clean, or how would she?
Yeah, it was clean.
Okay.
For that time, it's not like when you got vacuum cleaners and stuff like that now, you know.
Would she just have a broom to sweep then? Since you mentioned not having vacuum cleaners, would she just sweep every room or?
Yeah, broom and scrub, of course.
Okay.
Most of most floors were wood.
Okay. We've talked a little bit about your parents, but what was your dad's name?
Frank.
Frank. And what type of a person was your father?
God. He was good to me.
Were you close to him when you were growing up?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say he was...
I was with him just about longer than any of my brothers and sisters.
He was a farmer.
He was a farmer.
Would you say he was a strict father or...
Oh, yes. Very strict.
So he was German through and through.
Oh, yes. Both of them.
Both of them, your mother
Well,
and father.
oh, yeah, like I said, when we come home, we didn't tell them what we did wrong and the teacher did wrong. We knew better than that.
What's your mother's name?
Magdalena,
Magdalena. Do you know when they were married?
1913.
1913. Do you know how they met?
Well, they lived maybe 8 miles west of the place where I grew up.
Okay. Was their marriage one of love, or was it an arranged marriage?
Well, no, I think it was love.
Love.
He didn't tell me that.
Okay. Okay. when you think back to that, would you say they had a good marriage? They were a solid couple.
Yeah, there were problems like everybody. We have problems too. Of course, it's all my wife's fault, you know.
I think it's supposed to say the other way around. Aren't you supposed to take the blame? And they had the 7 or 8 kids. They had 8 kids, but they lost the one.
One.
How did the one die?
Cryptid.
Cryptid? What?
Cryptid.
Oh, crib death. Okay. So he was. How long did he live?
I don't know. Is it in there?
Only about 2 months old.
Something like that. 2 months, I think. Something like that.
Was he the oldest?
He was the oldest one in the family.
Okay. And then, can you take me through the order of the children that are still alive?
That's still alive?
Or the ones that had lived during the childhood?
Well, the oldest one is Clara.
Okay.
And then it's Joe, Father Joe, later on, my brother.
Okay.
And then it's me. And then it's Elizabeth. And then it's Magdalene. And then Rose. And Gunnar.
Okay. What was it like growing up with 7 children in the house?
Everybody had big families. It was common. Everybody had big families out there.
Did the girls work out on the fields as much as the boys?
Oh yeah, it was like my brother and my dad used to bind her with the horses, of course, and me and my younger sisters, we'd shock.
Would the boys help in the house?
No. There was when you had 16 horses, there were more girls in the house. The girls had to do more help out there than I had to do in the house. I never learned to cook or anything like that.
Still to this day?
To this day. Now I don't want to learn anymore.
You have somebody that spoils you, huh?
Yeah, right.
Let's see here. What type of activities, when you weren't working on the farm, what types of things would you do with your brothers and sisters?
Get in trouble, fight. Tease the girls and make them mad. And the girls used to fight all the time. There was 4 in a row. One get a dress, and the other 4 were mad. They wanted dresses too. Of course, one got a dress and was handed down. I'd go in once in a while and put a little gas on the fire, and then I'd go out in the barn again. That was my job. That's kind of mischief we got to do. We go out swimming. You know where? In the road ditches.
Really?
That's a swimming pool.
So did you know how to swim, or?
Later on I learned, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned having horses. Did you ever play any games with the horses, or use the horses for fun and riding, or were they just work?
Oh no, I hunt with one horse, and we'd go to company with a horse. It was always horses. There was no motorcycles we had no bikes in the farm.
You mentioned hunting. Did you do a lot of hunting when you were?
Oh yeah.
What would you hunt for?
Rabbits, fox, skunks.
Those got stinky, I bet.
After you had your nose full, you couldn't even smell it anymore. You come home in the house and your mother chased me out of the house take the clothes off and leave them outside.
Well, if you got that stinky, how often would you take a bath?
Once a week, with a little basin and a wash rag. We had no running water. We had no bathtub or anything like that. Most of your showers were like you take a basin of water and wash right. That was when it got older. We'd go down to the Balta Dam after that was done. My brother and I, we'd swim down there maybe 3-4 times a week.
How'd you learn how to swim?
My brother taught me.
How'd your brother learn how to swim?
He went to a seminary there, and that's where he learned.
Okay. So when you were hunting, what would you use to hunt these animals, the foxes?
A trap or gun, whatever. Most of the foxes I shot with the 22. The rest a trap. The rabbits we shot in the 40s, you know. We'd go out at night with spotlights, my brother and I, and shoot. They were worth a lot of money. They were worth 5 cents a piece.
Why is that? What were they used for?
Most of the meat was used for, I think, for feed to grind up for dogs and stuff like that.
Oh.
And the hides, whatever, you know.
So did you have dogs on your farm?
Oh, yeah.
Were they pets or were they farm dogs?
Well, they were both.
Both. Go back to your grandparents on your father's side. Did you know your grandparents?
Oh, absolutely.
What were their names?
Joseph and Elizabeth
Joseph and Elizabeth Axtman.
Axtman.
And did they come over from Russia?
Oh, yep.
Do you know when they came over and why?
In 1898.
Did they ever tell you why they came over to the U.S.?
Well, the Russians were so jealous of the Germans over there that they made it so miserable that my great-grandfather never come over, but six sons who come over and one daughter, all within a short time.
So were your grandparents married when they came over, or?
Yeah, they were married.
They were married?
Yeah.
Did they have any children when they?
Oh, yeah. My dad was 7 years old.
Really?
And there was 3 or 4 more kids.
So did your dad ever talk about what Russia
Oh, yeah.
was like?
My grandpa was a shoemaker over there. And my dad would have to deliver shoes, you know, but they made shoes, not like they go to the shoe shop now and fix them. They made the shoe from scratch, you know.
So when you were over here, did your grandpa ever make you shoes over here?
No.
No, that was just a trade he did.
But he fixed shoes over here.
Okay. Did your dad ever tell you what it was like moving from Russia to the U.S.?
Not too much. They didn't tell us too much, our parents. I don't know why. It's just like I just got a little write-up from the Axtmans what somebody else gave me. They changed their name from 2 N's to 1 N behind. One of the Axtmans, he wasn't in the Russian army. He snuck out and got over here, you know. So he changed his name for 1 N. Figured they couldn't catch him.
So your grandparents, when they came over from Russia, did they come directly to the U.S.? Do you know if they came to the U.S. and then settled in North Dakota, or did they go to Canada? Do you know?
Well, most of them come down to South Dakota, and then they went with covered wagon up to, up here.
Okay. And do you know where your grandparents originally homesteaded?
Yeah.
Where was that?
For half a mile south and half a mile west of where I grew up.
Really? So
There were 6 Axtmans. They were all within 10 miles. You know, that's the way they come over. They picked up land and homesteaded, and they were all in one group.
Were there any other people around the area that you grew up in besides?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What type of people were your grandparents? If you had to describe them, what were their personalities like, your grandpa and grandma Axtman?
I think I liked them. I mean, they seemed to be nice people. But just like everybody else, there was law. There was always law in the family. There was not everybody could do as they please. When they said, this is the way it's going to be, and that's the way it was.
Did you get a visit with them often?
Oh yeah, he used to come out to the farm all the time, my grandpa.
Okay. So would he go out and help you work the fields with your father?
No.
Okay. Did you ever have to go over and help him do some work?
I had to help everybody out there. Once I was old enough. If they wanted help, and then my dad said, "Yep, I'll send Nick over there."
They kept you busy.
Yeah. That's right. That's why I didn't get in trouble like we do now.
Didn't have time.
Didn't have time.
Your grandparents on your mother's side, did you know them?
Oh yes.
And what were their names?
Nicholas and Magdalena.
Nicholas and Magdalena? Is that who you're named after?
Oh yes. And my other brothers was Joe, after my grandpa.
Okay. And what was your mother's maiden name, your grandparents' name? Nicholas and Magdalena
Burkhardt.
Burkhardt? Okay. And did they also come over from Russia?
Oh yeah.
Do you know when they came over?
They came over, I think, in 1998 too, I think, or something like that.
Okay. Around the same time.
Yeah.
Did they ever talk about what it was like over in Russia for them?
For some reason or other, they didn't. Today I can't figure out why they didn't tell us more. You know, our grandparents and parents. It's just like they wanted to forget it, I guess, where they were at. They didn't want to even talk about it.
Was your mother a child when she came over, or was she born in the U.S.?
No, she was 4 years old.
She was 4 years old. Okay. Did she have any memories? I mean, that's pretty young, so I don't know. Did she have any memories of Russia?
She never talked about it.
Okay. And do you know where they originally homesteaded when they came over?
In Fulda. About 8 miles straight west for our farm. That's why when these guys courted, they had to go as far as the horse would go and pick up girls. He couldn't drive to Karlsruhe or to Rugby. It's too far with a horse.
So your grandparents on that side of the family, were you close to them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you see them quite often?
Oh yeah.
What type of, how would you describe their characters?
Well, he was a card, Grandpa was.
Really?
And Grandma was just the opposite. She pulled the whip, and he laughed it off. She was tough.
Would you ever go visit them?
Oh yeah, we had to go to grandparents all the time for Christmas. Both of them. That's one part of the growing up. You had to go to Grandpa and Grandma's.
So that was a tradition.
Oh yeah.
Then.
And when you went to Grandma Bolt's, you wouldn't talk English. She wouldn't talk to you if you talked English.
Did she know English? Or
Very little. But she knew enough to tell you that she wasn't going to talk to you unless you talk German.
So, Christmas, you mentioned Christmas. Would you get up in the morning, Christmas morning, and go visit one set of grandparents and then the other? Or would you have them both over to your place? How would that work?
Well, most of the time, the first thing you went to church.
Okay.
Then maybe in the afternoon. It was all with horses. It was all with horses.
So what was church like on Christmas morning when you were a kid?
Most of the time it was full.
Yeah.
It was for us. It was a treat. You know, you're on the farm by yourself all week. To go to church was something that you met other kids and other people.
So when you were growing up, was church something you would do every Sunday? Your parents would.
Oh yeah.
Every Sunday.
Oh yes. You didn't miss church. Unless, I remember one time for a snowstorm, we were driving a bus, of course, with the horses. We couldn't make midnight mass. So the next morning we went down, we tipped the bus twice, you know. The banks were, had blowing over and they were so steep with the bus. Set the bus up, keep going. Take about an hour and a half, or 2 hours to go 5 miles. Depends on how tough it was. Everybody was driving horses.
So how long would a church service last when you were growing up?
Mostly an hour and a half.
And would you were raised Catholic, right?
Right.
Okay. Would the priest, would it be the same priest for an extended period of time?
Oh yeah, we had one, I don't know how long. He was still there when we got married, didn't he? Father Boniface?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he come maybe 1930 or something like that.
Okay, so he was there for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, he died.
Okay. Was he approachable?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He was tough too. He had his. He ruled the roost. Of course, the people all knew it too. When he said, that's the way it was.
Was it a country church that you were going to? Or?
Well, I didn't go to church. There was a church right outside the farm called Selth's.
Oh.
Selth's Church. All I remember about that church, they built the church in Bald in 1919. But my folks, the Axtmans, they all went to that Selth's Church.
Is that church still standing?
No,
or
no.
Do you know when it was torn down?
Well, it was not torn. It was moved. Some farmer bought it and made a barn out of it.
Okay. Do you know when it closed?
I'd say 19 or something like that, 18 or something like that.
And then after that church closed, where did your family start?
And went to Balta.
In Balta. And is that church still open, or is that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Is it? How large of a congregation did you have when you were growing up?
Oh, it was pretty big. I'd say maybe 150 or something like that.
And do you know how many people still attend that church, or?
It's getting small. It's the farmers are all disappearing, and there are no new young farmers coming. There's one or two out there now.
When you were a child, because now you go into church and families sit together. Was that how it was when you were a child?
Nope. You went according to age.
Really?
The young ones, they had to go up in front, and then the next age, pretty soon the 8th graders, all 8th grade, you were really up the steps already. And the women were one side, and the boys were on the other side. Nobody sat together.
Was that even for the kids, the boys from youngest to oldest, and then the girls from youngest to oldest,
Yeah.
whether you're a kid? Okay. What type of church activities did you partake in when you were a child?
Well, religion class,
Okay.
that was something every year, about 2 weeks or something, maybe a month,
What time of year was that?
usually in June.
Was it an every day for the class?
Oh,
Every
no,
day
no.
of the week, or
Yeah, for so long, yeah, every day.
every day. So would your parents take you into church
Mhm.
every day, or okay? What were they like when you were? What did you do during those days?
Well, the first thing when I started religion class, everything was in German. Everything, all my prayers I had known, everything in German, everything. And then pretty soon in maybe 34, 35, we got a priest come over, and all of a sudden all the priests said we got to learn English. And we start all over again. Everything, all our prayers in English. That was not only in Balda, that was in Fulda too.
So, were the church services then in German, or were they?
When I was growing up, it was only in German. Later on, you had German and English.
Okay.
Homily in German and in English.
So then, your church that you attended was primarily a German-Russian church, then I imagine.
Right.
Okay. So was the community that you grew up in primarily German-Russian?
Yep.
Was it primarily Catholic?
Yes.
Let's see here. What about your first communion? Do you remember your first communion?
Not too much, I think. I was about 12 years old.
Okay. How about holidays? How did the church celebrate the holidays?
Well, that, like Christmas or Easter, that was big deals. I mean, that was a big deal.
Are there any different, when you think back to your childhood, did they celebrate them differently than they do now? Are there any things that they did differently then?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about names days? Was that something?
Everybody celebrated their names day.
Okay. How would you celebrate a names day?
Well, when we were first married, we'd make some 190, mix it up, and the neighbors would come and we'd drink, and that was a big thing, and everybody did it, you know. They go from one farm to the next celebrating names day.
So, 190, I'm learning more about this drink.
It's alcohol, 190 proof.
Mm-hmm. I actually sampled some for the first time this week. Was that common back then?
Oh yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
had that? It was
Most of the guys made it themselves.
really? Okay. How would you make it?
Brew it.
Would they make, I've heard of people making their own beer and wine. Was that
Oh yeah.
common?
Oh yeah. We made our own beer.
Okay.
That they'd have a barrel of usually in the bedroom where my folks, they put grapes in there and dates and stuff like that, and fermented. When they fermented so far, then they'd put it in a kettle on top of the stove. Used aluminum kettle. It's buried out in the farm. I can't find it anymore. And then they had a 15-gallon barrel with coils in there, and they had to keep ice in there. As that steam boiled off, it'd go through there and come out and in a barrel or in a bucket or whatever they put underneath. Then you had to do it till it was, once it would burn, so it was blue, then it was ready. As long as the flame was yellow or red, it wasn't ready yet.
How often would families drink back then? Was it a common occurrence?
Well, names day usually was a big thing. Or like my dad had a drink every morning. One drink. That's it. That was the drink unless they got company in the evening, then they'd probably pour a drink or two.
So how, with company, were they planned visits or would people just stop by?
They just stopped by. There was no telephone.
So what type of things would people do when they would come visit?
I remember them. They went to the front room. We call it front room. Marsh Snoop. And of course the kids were all chased out, so I think they had stories that we are not supposed to hear. I think so, I know. And they had sunflowers. I remember that. We always had sunflowers. That floor was absolutely full of sunflowers. They were just split on the floor.
Really?
And the next morning my mother would clean it up. They say the sunflowers would oil the wood floor. And somehow used Copenhagen, they had a spittoon in the corner where they'd spit in.
So what did your house look like the house you grew up in? Can you describe it?
It's still out there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did it?
It was a story and a half, I'd say. There was one room upstairs. My brother and I slept. The girls and my folks were in the main part.
Were there one room for the girls and then one room for your parents?
The girls were all in one room and the parents in one room.
Okay. How many beds were in the girls' room?
2.
So they had to share beds.
Absolutely.
How about the boys?
1 bed.
One bed. Okay. How would you keep the house warm in the wintertime?
Well, first I remember when I was a kid that we had a parlor stove. Well, you know, just setting up and pipe going. It was with coal, of course. And later on, in 1927, my dad put a boiler in the basement with hot water. That, by the way, that hot water's still out there too. That's still the best one. You get big radiators, They're better heat than any of this heat we got today.
So, the house that you grew up in, is that the house that your son lives in now?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that's the house that you lived in until you moved out here.
Right. And my dad built that farm,
So what year was the house built?
1913.
1913. And you were born in 1919? Okay. So he moved into it because he got married in 1913, right?
My folks, yeah.
Yeah. So that was their first house. Did they live there until they passed away, or did they live there until you got married?
No. They lived there till we got married. Then they moved down.
Okay. You mentioned that you would get coal for the parlor stove. Where would you get coal from?
Well, the coal they got, coming in the railroad, we had a shed out there, where we put coal in. We'd have to go out and get it. There was no basement under our house at that time.
Where you would use coal or the boiler heater to heat the house, but how would you keep food cool in the summer?
We had a ice cellar.
Ice cellar.
It was just like a basement. In the wintertime, we'd haul with barrels, we had water in there. That's about 8 feet of ice. And then we'd pack straw on top in the summertime, and that ice that lasted most of the summer. Everything that had to be refrigerated was in that ice cellar.
And it would last for most of the summer, even during the dirty 30s when it got really hot.
That was just like a fridge in our farm. Some of them had cold water. They had dug wells and they'd hang their stuff down there. But we had an ice cellar.
Interesting. You've talked a lot about the farm work that you had to do. Do you remember when your dad got a tractor?
1936.
Okay. Do you remember how that changed farming?
Well, it changed for me because I had packed my brother's books. I was going to go to school. So he promised a tractor if I'd stay home. And there was not a tractor with a cab and air conditioner. It had lugs about so long, on steel, of course, and no muffler on it. I sat there, that's where I got this from, sitting out in the open sun all the time.
How many hours a day were you out on the field?
Well, when we first got it, my dad had a hired man. I'd work the night shift. Through the night, the hired man worked the day. My dad, all he did was brought the gas out. Of course, the gas at that time was a 50-gallon drum. It's not like they got all this fancy stuff with a 5-gallon pail. And the seat, that was it. Never had to worry about the seat or anything like that. That was my dad's job. He just kept the tractor going.
So would you say your dad was a pretty successful farmer?
Yeah, I'd say he was, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that he had a hired man. Would this hired man live with the family? Or?
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Okay.
They got $30 a month.
Was it common back then to have a hired man?
Well, my dad had more land than when we were horses, we didn't have a hired man. When we got the tractor, we had a hired man.
How much land did your dad have?
About 500-600 acres, I guess, something like that. Later on, it was more. When we got the tractor, he had more, maybe 800 or something like that.
So the land that your father had, you inherited and started farming. Is that how it went?
No.
No?
My land my father had, I bought.
You bought it.
I did not inherit.
That'll be that. And then your son took it over from you.
Yeah.
So the same land is in the family still.
Right.
Was the land that your father was farming, was that the same land your grandfather farmed?
No.
Okay, so it started with your father, so it's now on the third generation.
Right.
Okay. So how much land did you farm when you took it over?
Well, I started with 400 and some acres.
And then went to how much until you sold it to your son?
Maybe 1,500 acres.
Oh my goodness. And then how much does your son have now?
Well, he's got about 2,000 acres.
So it keeps growing.
Yeah.
How long has your son been farming the land?
Well, I've been farming ever since I moved to town. 20 years, 30 years.
Okay. So does your son have a son that's going to take it over?
No, he's not married.
Oh, okay.
He's still looking.
Still looking.
He's getting to the age where he's getting too old to look.
So is he the only one that's out there manning the 2,000
Right,
acres?
right.
That's a lot of work.